Hello everyone, welcome to our next class. That is, we are going to discuss about the theory of Chris Aguirre's immaturity maturity theory of personality. In a departure from the strict stage approach, which we have discussed under the Erikson stages, well-known organizational behavioral theorist Chris Aguirre has identified specific dimensions of the human personality as it develops. Aguirre proposes that a human personality, rather than going through a precise stages, progresses along a continuum for immaturity as an infant to maturity as an adult. Right? However, at any age, people can have their degree of development plotted according to the 7 dimensions that were given by Aguirre's immaturity maturity continuum. We will see what is that 7. Immaturity characteristics versus maturity characteristics. Immaturity characteristics are positivity, dependency, few ways of behaving, shallow interests, short time perspective, subordinate positions, a lack of self-awareness. If you consider maturity characteristic, opposite to passivity, activity, opposite to dependency, you will have independency. Few ways of behaving will lead to opposite to this diverse behavior. Shallow interest, deep interest. Short time perspective, long time perspective. Subordinate position of immaturity characteristics. Opposite to that maturity characteristic is superordinate position. Lack of self-awareness, immaturity characteristic versus maturity characteristic, self-awareness and control. Aguirre has very carefully pointed out that this model does not imply that all persons reach or strive for all dimensions on the mature end of the continuum. He has further explained that the 7 dimensions present only one aspect of the total personality. Much also depends upon the individual's perception, self-concept, and adoption and adjustment. And the second thing is the 7 dimensions continually change in degree from the infant to adult end of the continuum. And third, the model being only a construct cannot product specific behavior. However, it provides a method of describing and measuring the growth of any individual in the culture. And the fourth is the 7 dimensions are based upon latent characteristics. Latent means that are hidden in the human being. Latent characteristics of the personality which may be quite different from the observable behavior. And we will evaluate. Evaluation, in contrast to the theories of Freud and Erikson, Aguirre's immaturity maturity model of personality is especially detected to the study and analysis of organizational behavior. Aguirre assumes that the personalities of organizational employees can be generally described by the mature end of the continuum. This being the case, in order to obtain full expression of employees' personalities, the formal organization should allow for activity rather than passivity, independence rather than dependence, right? Long rather than the short time perspective, occupation of a position higher than that of peace, and expression of the deep important abilities, right? Aguirre argues that very often the exact opposite occurs. The mature organizational participant becomes frustrated and anxious and is in conflict with the modern formal organization. In the words of Aguirre, sees a basic incongruity between the needs of mature personality and the nature of formal organizations, right? And criticism will say. Aguirre's assumptions that all organizational men are mature does not always hold well in practice. Moreover, the mature people continue with the organization in split in spite of all aberrations in their personality. Aberrations we call them as. Right? And we will discuss another theory, psychological theory postulated by Trait. Okay, to honor his name, we named it as trait theory. Freudian and other theories have emphasized the qualitative aspects of personality. The trait theory is quantitative and refers to measure of psychological characteristics called traits. The trait theory proposes that an individual may be described in terms of constellation of traits such as affiliation, achievement, anxiety, aggression, and dependence. Right? A trait is thus any distinguishing, relatively enduring way in which one individual differs from others. The traits and the amount of each trait that each person has assumed to be fairly stable. Okay, and the differences in the personality and behavior between two individuals is assumed to be a result of differences in the amount of each trait that each person has. Okay, when we go through the trait theory, a few fundamental questions were raised. What are the traits which comprise human personality? First question. How are these traits to be measured to ascertain the personality composition and in turn the behavior pattern of the individual in an organization? Right? D.W. Fiske conducted an empirical study of 128 men. 20 individual traits were used to get their ratings. A factor analysis of such things provided 5 general basic traits. They are social adaptability, we call it as social adaptability. Second is emotional control, and third is conformity. Fourth is inquiring intellect. Okay, and fifth is confident self-expression. These traits exercise considerable influence on individual and in turn organizational behavior. Right? Apart from Fiske's empirical work on identifying general traits of individual personality, there are other contributors to trait theory whose contributions are accepted as classics. These contributors are Gordon Allport and Raymond Cattell. We'll see the Allport trait theory first. Allport trait theory is based upon the distinction between common traits and personal dispositions. Allport classifies people on the basis of his scale of value test. He identifies 6 categories of values: theoretical, economical, aesthetic, social, political, and religious. Right? These 6 values are common traits which may be used for comparing people. Besides these common traits, he has identified some unique traits which he calls as personal dispositions. He classifies these unique traits under 3 categories. Cardinal, we call them as pervasive. Central, they are unique and limited in number. And third, secondary, we call them as peripheral. Allport says greater emphasis on personal dispositions which register a departure from the common personality trait theory. Cattell has taken a different approach from Allport, another psychologist. He has identified 2 categories of traits: surface traits and source traits. He has divided traits into 2 categories. One is surface traits and source traits. That is given by Cattell. He determined 35 surface traits by finding cluster of traits that are correlated. Such traits lie on the surface of the personality and are largely determined by the underlying source traits. He identifies 16 source traits or primary traits. The 16 personality traits having 2 dimensions are noted in a table which you can see here. Okay, in the slide. These traits are constant and enduring, allowing prediction of human behavior. Okay, we have taken 16 primary traits. We have divided main and opposite to them. First is reserved and the opposite to that outgoing. Less intelligent, more intelligent, affected by feelings, emotionally stable, submissive, dominant, serious, happy-go-lucky, expedient, conscientious, conscientious, timid, venturesome, tough-minded, sensitive, trusting, suspicious, practical, imaginative, forthright, shrewd, self-assured, apprehensive, conservative, experimenting, group-dependent, self-sufficient, uncontrolled, controlled, relaxed, tense. The source from which it is taken is that RB Cattle personality traits. We will evaluate the trait theory. Okay, makes more sense than other theories which we have discussed earlier, as it provides continuity to human personality. Okay, it has more sense. The trait theories have proved personality tests and factor analysis techniques to behavioral sciences. In spite of these facts, it is descriptive, okay, rather than analytical, to present a comprehensive theory of personality, right? And we'll discuss another theory that we call it as self-theory. Personality theory, self-theory. If we stop thinking about other people's behavior, we become conscious of our own person, right? That's why generally learned people suggest that don't poke your ugly nose into others' affair, right? If you are stop thinking about others people's behavior, we become conscious of our own person, our feelings, our attitudes, and perhaps feelings are responsibilities of our actions in relation to oneself and others. This phenomenon has led to the self theory. Self, according to Clifford T. Morgan, has two distinct set of meanings. People's attitude about themselves, their traits and abilities, the impact they could make on others, their plus and minus points. This includes what may be stated as self-concept or self-image, or self-concept or self-image relates definitely to one's attitude, feelings, perceptions, and evaluations of self. The other relates to psychological process through which an individual thinks, remembers, perceives, manages, and plans. In the light of these two, self has been described into two ways: self as an objective and self as a process. The most important contribution in self theory comes from Carl Rogers. He has defined the self or self concept as an organized, consistent, conceptual gestalt composed of perceptions of I or me. The relationship of I or me with others and to various aspects of life has been analyzed by Rogers. The four factors of one self concept is self image is one. Self image is the way one sees oneself. Every person has certain beliefs about whom or what he is. Taken together, these beliefs are a person's self image or identified. Ideal self. The ideal self denotes the way one would like to be. Thus, self image is the reality, whereas ideal self is the perception. There may be a gap between these two images because self image indicates the reality of a person as perceived by him, and ideal self indicates the ideal position as pursued by him. Okay, looking glass self is another factor of self concept. Looking glass self is the perception of others' perception. Okay, looking glass self is nothing but is the perception of others' perception. It is the way one thinks people perceive about him and the way people actually see him. Real self. The real self is what one really is. The first three aspects of self concept are the perceptions, and they may be same or different as the real self. We will evaluate this theory. Okay, in analyzing organizational behavior, self concept plays a very significant role. A person perceives a situation depending upon self concept, which has a direct influence on his behavior. This implies that a person with a different self concept needs different types of managerial practices. The big five personality theories and another theory we will discuss. Okay, English. Big five personality traits. The Big Five model. In recent years, a body of research have identified five basic personality dimensions. That are, one is extroversion, okay, and the other is emotional stability. Third is agreeableness. Fourth is conscientiousness. And fifth is openness. All these five traits are so important and underlie all other traits that they are more popular, referred to as Big Five personality traits. Okay, these traits are, we'll discuss in detail. Extroversion. The personality trait reflects a person's comfort level with relationships. Extroverts tend to be sociable, lively, assertive, outgoing, and talkative. The opposite of extrovert is introvert, which refers to those who are quiet. Okay, they don't want to mingle with others. They are reserved. They are less assertive. Right? Another Big Five personality trait theory. Okay, factor is emotional stability. The trait captures a person's ability to withstand stress. If you want to overcome the stress, okay, you have emotional stability. People with high emotional stability tend to be calm, confident, and secure. They don't want to show their emotional appeals. A person with low emotional stability, on the other hand, tend to be nervous, depressed, anxious, and insecure. And another factor of Big Five personality trait is agreeableness. Agreeableness refers to a person's ability to get along with others. Highly agreeable people are cooperative, emphatic, and caring. However, people who score low on this trait are cold, uncooperative, and self-centered. Another factor of Big Five trait is consciousness or consciousness. Okay, conscientiousness. This personality trait is a measurable measure of reliability. It refers to people who are dependable, responsible, organized, and systematic. People with low consciousness tend to be unreliable, irresponsible, careless, and disorganized. Right? And another Big Five trait is openness. The personality trait reflects a person's interest and creativity. Extremely open people are creative and innovative. They are willing to listen to new ideas and to change their own idea. People who are having open-minded, okay, they listen to new ideas and they'll change their ideas if they found they are not correct. They are flexible and curious. Okay, they change according to the changes that took place in them. That's why we call them as flexible. They want to know everything. They are curious. However, those who score low on this trait are less receptive to new ideas. Those who got less score on this trait, openness, generally they are less receptive of new ideas. They don't want to listen to others. More fixed in their ways, unconventional way of going. Right? With this, I conclude my session. Okay, we will meet in the next session. Thank you.